Hi, guys. So, this is my first YouTube live. I'm Sarika Aunty, love and relationship mentor. And I'm just super excited to be getting started on YouTube. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie, it's something I've been avoiding doing my own talks on YouTube. I've been listening to a lot of teachers. I love following all sorts of spiritual teachers and entrepreneurs and other people who have, you know, really interesting, uplifting, enlightening information. And I guess till now, I've been wondering, you know, what do I have to share? What's so special, that I know or that can't already be available or accessible? Who am I to come onto YouTube and share? And so I have done interviews with other experts in the past. I have done a few YouTube videos, but this is my new up and coming online brand of Sarika Aunty. And I'm, just going to bring out my raw South Asian experience, support for South Asian professionals, men and women finding love. And of course, everyone is welcome to listen. I'm a 40 something mom, recent transplant from New York City. I have two kids, 4 and 2, and I live in the state of New Jersey now. I got married to my husband. I don't know, it's been 8 years already. Oh my gosh, or maybe 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. And my path to meeting him was filled with synchronicity. I met him after a breakup, someone I was engaged to. And it was after that breakup that, and I was working on it at the time. It was after that breakup that I really began to do some soul searching. I began working with a New York City psychic on healing myself, on learning to love myself. And it was in that journey, in that process, that I met Christian, my husband, in a meditation group. And of course, I didn't just, begin dating him. I was just still in this soul searching kind of mindset and dating other people, learning to date in a conscious, joyful way. But in due course, I really just started liking him more and more, and vice versa. I mean, to be honest, I think when we met, we felt deep resonance between us. And I think I knew in my heart that he is or was the partner for me. And I felt like I was coming home, that it was that feeling. We got married 2 years later. And no, wait, what am I saying? 1 year later after that in India, in my dad's hometown. And that was so marvelous. All our friends flew in, family, all my family was there, my huge joint family. You talk about big fat Greek wedding. Ours was a giant Indian wedding, which was amazing. I felt like a celebrity. I know Christian did, and so did all my guests. And then we had, a conscious, joyful honeymoon. We spent time in Bali, and and then after that, we came back to New York City, started our own businesses, and just life started becoming crazy after that. I'm giving you my whole spiel. I'm not sure what order to do this in, but I'm just kind of giving you my whole spiel. I mean, and I will say that my transition into becoming a wife wasn't easy necessarily. Well, actually, at first it was pretty easy because we just pretended, or we just continued being almost like boyfriend and girlfriend living under the same roof. But, of course, talking about finances, talking about our work schedules. I mean, we would just be working all day and into the evening. We would rarely cook. And, I was kind of going through ups and downs in my business. He was also starting his. And so I would say that we didn't spend much time with each other. I mean, of course, we did spend a lot of time traveling and, having dinners, date night, working on our relationship. And so we started that. And it was in that process that I got pregnant with our first child. And that was a fun journey, yet also filled with its own challenges, like my transition into becoming a mom. Like I was so unsure. Of course, I've always dreamed about, you know, being a mom, having kids. But, I think my old fears, maybe from my culture, started coming up around like, will I, lose power in my relationship? Will I be a stay at home mom? Something I was so afraid of. Will I have my independence? Will I be dependent on my partner? Am I going to have to do everything? Like, is a responsibility of motherhood going to feel so overwhelming? Are we going to be able to maintain our marriage? Will I be able to have a business? Like all these doubts started coming up. And interestingly, I'm sure I had similar types of fears and doubts before I even got married, because that felt like such a huge leap as well. So, yeah. And then luckily, we also worked through that. We sought support, couples counseling, and coaching. And, so I would say that, these past few years of us focusing on our marriage, me focusing on my inner, spiritual, mental, physical, and mental, emotional foundation is really powerful. And as I'm speaking, I can hear the girls running around looking for me. So it's definitely not easy to be on here creating videos and knowing that the girls are calling for me. But yeah. And I feel like, at least right now, I'm just feeling really content. I'm feeling content about where we are in our lives. And it was interesting. The pandemic, it definitely shook us up. Like we were living in the city, and then we came to visit my in-laws over, during March, and then that's when the pandemic hit New York City, and then we decided to stay in New Jersey. So here we are. Like we ended up being here. We ended up buying the house next door, and so in fact our life has just gotten so beautiful. Even though the pandemic was going on, despite everything going on, we managed to keep focusing on building our foundation in love, whether it's within ourselves or in our relationship, in our parenting style, in our communities, in our families. It's almost like we have this intentional community set up with his parents next door. And even with our neighborhood, we've gotten to know all our neighbors. We try to serve each other in different ways. So, I guess what my long message now is, we are going through a lot of turbulence in the world, in our economy, in our jobs, in our personal lives. And whether you're feeling disrupted, afraid, anxious, panicky, unhappy, if you're feeling any of those feelings, especially as we're navigating through these uncertain times, it's normal. It's normal, right? We just don't know how to navigate uncertainty. But what I'm noticing now is that as there's so much uncertainty going around in our world, there's also a lot of manifestation ability, because our reality is sort of jumbled up. It's crumbling in certain ways. People we admired, systems, things that we thought were true but aren't, or things that aren't true, wait, or vice versa, right? Or our partners, right? Many women or men are noticing that their partners aren't behaving the way that they normally would, or people are ending relationships. People are starting to date again. I mean, there's just so many different variations of how this pandemic has hit us, or not just the pandemic, but overall, the uncertainty in our world right now. And we have two choices on how to respond. We can respond out of fear, or we can respond out of love. And those are our two timelines. And as you're navigating all of your choices on a day to day basis, try to take a step back, focus on your breath, and choose something loving, choose something courageous instead of falling into a fear-based pattern. Because as I've shared through my long-winded story about where we are today, um, and I was focusing more on my love life, really. I have seen that the more I just create these pathways around love, whether it's serving in a community, whether it's serving my relationship, whether it's practicing self love, whether it's serving my kids, or, you know, being in having difficult conversations, but from a space of love, listening to people, noticing my egoic filters coming up, supporting others who need help. Like, those are all choices that we can make in any given moment. And that actually helps create the pathways for love to emerge in our lives. And the more you just keep doing these positive actions, the more that you start manifesting those things in your life. Um, yeah. So if you're single and you want to manifest a partner, this is a great time to start focusing on your inner foundation, on your mental health, physical health, spiritual, emotional, sexual health, right? Get support, begin meditating, learn how to love yourself, know that you're truly worthy, and spend half an hour a day online, on dating apps, on talking to, um, men or women, networking, going out there. Just, I don't know, start taking steps in your life for manifesting your soulmate. Create a vision board, write a manifestation prayer, read books on love. Okay. Um, be a part of a community service, serve other people, invite people over for dinner at your place. I'm just giving ideas on how you can start creating energies of love in your life. Have a beautiful, honest conversation with your siblings, with your parents, reconcile your relationships with them. Find love and acceptance within yourself. Meditate, practicing gratitude regularly. Join a mindfulness or meditation circle. Um, there's so many ways that you can just start creating those pathways in love in your life. And if you're in a toxic relationship, or if your work is toxic, make the decision to leave. You have to give yourself the permission to also end things that aren't right for you, because, they say that, and whether it was at work or in my relationships, like, I just wasn't coming from a strong emotional or inner foundation. And so the way I would just navigate my work and my personal life was just based on reaction. I was just go, go, go. And it was only after that breakup that I got to take a step back and just observe my thought patterns, my habit energies, how I respond to things, my ego, and also what I truly wanted and desired in my life, right? Those are things I'd never really tuned into, what my values were. So, you know, I know that all this recalibration could happen because of the uncertainty that was created in my life. And I could see that. I can now see that everything that I manifested in my life right now is because in those uncertain times, I started creating those pathways of love in my life. And I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know whether I'd meet my partner. I didn't know whether, I would ultimately have a family or experience financial abundance or start a coaching practice or write a book, which is what I'm up to right now, you know, start courses for women. I I didn't know that I would be doing all these things, but still I was really adamant that I was going to live a life of integrity and really just keep focusing on creating positive impact in the world, in my world. It's not like I was going to be some, big do gooder. I was done trying to please everyone, appease, you know, everyone, try to succeed in becoming like the number one, you know, philanthropist or something like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I needed to make sure that my own life was filled with love and integrity, that I was doing my best in how I was showing up with my loved ones and the people around me, and even with myself. So, yeah, I would say start creating those powerful, loving pathways. And it does take courage. If one thing you can start doing is random acts of kindness. Buy coffee for the person behind you, pay for the person's toll in the car behind you. And when people ask you, why are you doing that? Just say, I'm just doing something kind, you know? And if they say, can I pay? Just say, actually, you can just pay it forward. I'm just practicing a random act of kindness, or do something anonymous, drop off some flowers for a stranger. I think that kindness is something that really disrupts all our neural programming, our separation programming, our I'm alone programming, because we're not alone. We're not. We're all connected. We're all interconnected. And we know that. I think on a soul level, we really know that we're all connected. And the separation, the loneliness hurts, and when you experience a breakup, it becomes so obvious. Or when you get fired from a job, it becomes that ache is so great. Or when you have a breakdown with your parents or a sibling or a friend, right? So, yes, these things can happen, but the more and more you start feeding those positive connections, creating positive connections in the world, even with random strangers, the more you start doing that, the more you start healing this psyche of disconnection that we all have. It's a wound. And start stepping into like this place of knowing that you're loved, for feeling worthy of love, and that you're being loved. I really feel like that's why we're here. We just want to be our most loving, generous, magnanimous selves, our best radiant selves. I mean, and what stops us is really our conditioning, our habits around being lazy, accepting things that don't feel good, saying yes to something we want to say no to, not having healthy boundaries. And I'm talking about all the fear based pathways that we could take, right? The fear based pathways are about, just accepting and doing things just to stay in your comfort zone. Just to stay like, oh, okay, I'm going to be safe. If I just do this, I'm going to be safe. Ultimately, your reality is going to fall apart, because we're not here to just feel safe. We're here to thrive. We're here to grow and thrive and shine and be in loving relationships. That's why we're here. So, yeah, I would say we're in very, I don't want to say magical times, but I do believe in magic, you know? I believe that we're in high manifestation times, and it's also a really great time for people, for partners, for twin flames, as they call them, meeting each other. We're being supported by so many universal energies for finding our soulmates. So it's just, yeah, really powerful time. So set an intention, be intentional about your life. Forget watching TV every evening or going out or staying late at work, all the things that you do to stay busy or occupied. Instead, spend your energy on what serves life, what serves your love life, how can you generate more love in the world? How can you create more loving pathways in the world? Habits. Um, that's really what's going to serve you. That's what's going to help you manifest even greater things in your life: abundance, healthy relationships, love. I got this really beautiful message from a teacher of my daughter's. My daughter goes to preschool, and my teacher there, or her teacher there, said that is the happiest person in her class. I felt so happy. Like, to me, having my child be so to generate happiness within her, feel a sense of joy, security, love, comfort, and even just acceptance for who she is. Like, that's what I want for her. I want to be there for her ups and downs, to help her create that emotionally resilient place within where she can feel happy just being herself. I feel like that's such a great contribution. And I know that a lot of it has to do with how Christian and I, with each other, model our relationship around her. Also observant of our own unconscious reactions around her, because children trigger us, partners trigger us. Our key relationships are also here to trigger us, right? So, yeah, focus on creating those loving pathways in your life. You will be able to manifest the stream life that you want, that you know in your heart that you really desire. This partnership with you know, with your husband or partner or wife, whatever, children, your own business, even writing a book, becoming a dancer, anything you want is possible. But you kind of just have to start creating those loving pathways in your life to make it happen. Okay, so see you later. Thanks for listening in. And if you like this video, please like it, share it, subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to what comes up next. Thank you.